Hello. Today is October 12th, and this week we are working through the 21st week after Pentecost in our lectionary. We are today reading our psalm for the week, Psalm 91, verses 9 through 16. Because you have made the Lord your refuge, the Most High your dwelling place, no evil shall befall you, no scourge come near your tent. For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. On their hands they will bear you up, so that you will not dash your foot against a stone. You will tread on the lion and the adder, the young lion and the serpent you will trample underfoot. Those who love me I will deliver. I will protect those who know my name. When they call to me, I will answer them. I will be with them in trouble. I will rescue them and honor them. With long life I will satisfy them and show them my salvation. This psalm is a psalm that comes after three books in the Psalter. 88, or three psalms in the Psalter, 88, 89, and 90. This is Psalm 91, remember. And all three of those psalms are asking the question, where are you, O God? Where is your help? If they recall God's faithfulness and help in the past, and they all then turn the question back to God. Where is God's help now? Or, God, help us now. It is an active prayer seeking God's help. Psalm 90 has that verse 13, Turn, O Lord, how long? Have compassion on your servants. This is then, in Psalm 91, the answer to the three psalms that come before it. It is an answer that God is faithful, that God will be our refuge and our help, if we make God our dwelling place, no evil shall befall us, no scourge come near your tent. And that's a big promise. It's a huge promise that is being made in Psalm 91. It's an assurance of God's protection. In fact, this psalm then, for its comforting words, its assurances of protection and hope, is a psalm that puts to the question those three psalms that came before it. So why do we get this answer when the experience of the faithful in other parts of the Psalter is disappointment or desperation for God's help in their particular moments of crisis? How do we read this psalm? Do we read it as direct fact that if we put our trust in God, everything will work out, when sometimes it seems they don't? Or how else are we supposed to read this? What do we make? Is this entirely about spiritual protection? Well, Jesus answers some of these questions. This is Psalm 91, verses 11 and 12. I'll read it again. For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. On their hands they will bear you up, so that you will not dash your foot against a stone. These two verses are quoted by the devil in Matthew and in Luke. When Jesus is being tempted in the wilderness, he is taken up to a very high place by Satan, and Satan says, go ahead and jump. God will send an angel to catch you. You know that, and he quotes then this passage, you know that you will be picked up by an angel and you will be out of danger. And Jesus' response is not a denial of the truth of this, but his response is, God's protection is not meant to be tested. God's faithfulness is not meant to be tested. We are meant to turn to God in our time of need, but we are not meant to treat God as a divine vending machine who hands out blessings and protection. That is not what the relationship that we have with God is like. And in fact, so Jesus rebukes Satan's reading of this. Satan's reading of the Psalms. Apparently, Satan reads the Psalms. Jesus is rebuking the fact Satan's reading of the Psalm that says this is all about direct protection, and God will always be the one who, we can just, it'll just happen again and again and again because God has said it, so we can freely jump. That's not the idea, that we are meant to be, that we have a divine safety net in that sense. But in fact, verse 14, 15, and 16 is the response to that misreading of the protection that God provides. That Satan says, it's like a parachute, it'll always work, and parachutes don't always work, but this is like a magical parachute that always works. That is not the reading, that is the reading that Jesus rebukes. And in fact, if the devil was reading honestly, he would read 14, 15, and 16. That God is going to deliver, protect, answer the call. These are the verbs that get used: rescue, honor, satisfy, show salvation. These are direct responses to the trouble. But the most important verb in that final answer that God gives to the one seeking help is in verse 15. Psalm 91, verse 15. It is the central line. When they call to me, I will answer them. I will be with them in trouble. I will rescue them and honor them. That central line is, I will be with them in trouble. The other verbs in those final three verses are finite verbs. They are a direct action that concludes. Deliverance, protection, they are finite verbs. I will be with them in trouble is an infinite verb. It is a verb that is ongoing. And the line itself says, I will be with them continually in trouble. So this line is not God saying there will never be any trouble for those who are faithful. This is a line that confirms, yes, there will be trouble. To quote another psalm, much more well known, there are going to be valleys of darkness to be walked through in a faithful life. Life is full of trouble, even for the faithful. But the promise of God that is central, the central promise of God's protection is that God will be there and there with the person in their darkest times, that we are sustained by God through the hardest times of our life. And that is the central promise of God's protection. And God will deliver and protect and answer the call. But it is not simply that God will stop the rain from coming down. It's that God will be the umbrella to protect against the rain. We'll still be affected by it, but with God's presence in our lives, we are sustained through the hard times. This is the promise of Psalm 91, and that is the response that Psalm 91 gives to those prior three Psalms, Psalm 88, 89, and 90. That is all I have for today. I hope you are having a great week. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.